Hi Cancer, welcome to The Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. Today we're going to look at May for you. You can use this for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or North Node. Celtic crossbred with the Jungian Tarot, plus 2 threads of fate oracle cards for your catalyst energies. We're going to start there. Your catalyst energies are basically holding the high note for the energies available through the spread this month. And so if you get lost in process, you can always kind of go back to the catalyst energies to remind yourself what you're doing, right? Keeps you in the high vibration of all this energy. So starting there, we have 2 cards. They're both in reverse. A lot of reversals in this deck, or in this spread. So let's start. The Wildling, reversed. Getting in touch with your inner wild side. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, like, do anything crazy out there, but, like, it feels like, embracing the wildness within you is a big theme. Who in you is the mischief maker? And what kind of mischief do you want to create? This could just be like having fun with your friends, something as simple as that. Or doing something a little different in your day because you're feeling this kind of like desire to mess with things or whatever. So it could be, just like, making art, getting into an artistic flow. And something also about it feels just a little twisted. Like it's wanting to express and it can't quite. And I think it's just because it doesn't feel like it's because you didn't do your work. It feels like it's just because you have done your work, and so now something new is kind of rising. And I keep getting a pull, like they keep pulling my eyes, Spirit keeps pulling my eyes to this Ace of Wands that we'll talk about too. So it looks like there is this theme of kind of new energy rising. And I feel it in my sacral center. So sensuality, creativity, sexuality, body-based primal emotions, movement, things like that. So, yeah, it's just like something in you wants to come out, and it's not, you're not quite ready. Maybe it's not quite ready, but it's like this divine spark of something, and it feels very mischievous in a good way. It feels like almost revolutionary, like something in you wants to really change something up or do something really different. And it's a very excitable energy. It's also nervous. Like it seems like you're nervous about it. It's nervous about itself because it seems like it's new. So, or at least if it's not new, it was buried and you've uncovered it. So it's like it can express again. And it seems like it's just nervous. The kind of nervous energy that I'm feeling is really like butterflies in my stomach. So this could be something as simple as there's something new, there's somebody new that you're interested in if you're single and looking, and you want to ask that person out and you're not quite ready and you feel like twisted. It could be something like that, like something you want to do that's new, but there's just a little bit of that nervous fear. And it doesn't necessarily feel like that's a problem or you're doing anything wrong or like you're doing anything that you shouldn't be doing. It really just seems like it's there. It's there, it wants to express, it's still developing, and there's this twisted, butterfly-y intensity about it, okay? So let's see it compared with the Trust reverse card. So you can trust this energy. It feels like, because it's new and it's intense and it's twisty in the way that it's coming through, the butterfly sensation, it seems like you're kind of like, what is this? Like, what is this? What is it doing here? Like, it really does feel very new. It is that moment where you meet somebody and you realize you like them and you're like, oh, what is this feeling? You're like, that's kind of what it is. And it may not be like a person. It could be romance, but it could also just be a new project, a new endeavor, the dream job, the dream promotion, meeting your long lost father for the first time, something that's like anticipatory in its twistiness. And so because it's new and because it's intense and because there's not doubt, but nervousness, this sense of, is it going to be okay? That feeling before you take a big risk, that is it going to be okay, which is totally normal and natural. It seems like because it's so new, you're like, can I trust this? Or is this just going to fall, right? So it's kind of like if the task here is needing to ask, like wanting to ask that new person out, this person that you're really excited about, if that's the example that we're going off of, this is like, are they going to say no? Are they going to reject me? And this could also come out of like, if you can tell there's chemistry between you and this person, if you can tell they like you back, and it makes the butterflies in you even more intense. You know how that kind of circles back around. This is kind of the feeling of like, what if I'm wrong? What if they reject me anyway? What if I totally read it wrong or whatever? And so you just need to trust yourself. And I don't really feel like this keeps coming in so strong, so I'm gonna keep using it. I don't really feel like if this is another person in some capacity, even if not romance, but that's what I'm gonna use. Um, if it is like this sense of like worried they're gonna say no, and also knowing that they like you, I get the feeling that they probably won't say no. I feel like you really are good to go. I'm not having any red lights other than it's more like a yellow light. It's like you're just not quite ready yet, or they aren't, or whatever. I I feel like you can trust what you are feeling from it. Like you can trust that you feel that they like you back. You know what I mean? Like it's just something that you can sense. And so I don't think there's anything to worry about. But I will say, just as a caveat, if you're in that situation, you may just want to prepare yourself for rejection anyway, because you never know fully. You know, so like, can you get into a space where you feel okay with rejection, even if it hurts? Like you're okay with the pain of rejection, and still take the risk anyway, because I think you're going to be okay, but I do want you to be prepared for both outcomes. Okay, just prepare yourself, and that's all I'm getting from the reversals is A, you're not quite ready, this is still new, it's inside you, right? And B, you're not going to know for sure what happens next, so you may just need to take the leap and prepare for the best and the worst and everything in between. Just be open to the experience of what happens next and the emotions that come out of that, because they'll probably be a mix of emotions. Even if you get what you want, it's like the next thing will come in where it's like, oh, are they gonna like me on this date? Oh, are they gonna like my outfit? Just kind of is a story that keeps perpetuating. And so if you can sit with the emotions of excitement and nervousness and not being quite sure, and just act on the impulses of them in a healthy way, without getting in your head, I think that's going to help you. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to not know. And it's okay to take that leap anyway, even if you're nervous and you don't know. All right. So whatever this is about, I'd say take the leap. But if you're not ready yet, then don't worry. Take the leap when you're ready, and if that's not right now or this month, then that's okay. Just sit with what you're feeling. Okay, and trust what's there. Trust that what you're feeling is real. Okay, moving into the Celtic cross spread. Princess of Wands reversed. Yeah, you're just not ready. So the Princess of Wands is the same energy I was feeling from this wildling. It's this like feeling that kind of starts in your gut and wants to express. It can come out as anger, it can come out as sex or lust, it can come out as it's always, I feel like it's always kind of driven by desire and attraction in some way, even if not sexual. So it can be very sexual, and very like literally sexual. This can be about somebody that you want to sleep with, right? It can be that simple. But it could also just be like you have a real desire to finish this art project. You have a real desire to get this job, to buy this, to adopt this new pet, right? It can really be anything that kind of stirs your excitement in that way. It can also be anger. I don't feel anger. I feel this excited nervousness, though. My point being that if you're not ready to express your feelings yet or act on this feeling that's rising yet, that's okay. All I'm getting from the reversal is that it's here, it's inside you, it needs to express. That restless energy is going to make you feel a little tense because it wants to come out, but it's not quite ready. And so there's that nervous tension, right, of like, ooh, I don't want to, ooh, yes, I do, that kind of back and forth kind of pull that happens. Can you sit with that and just let it be what it is, without getting too in your head? Because if you can stay with the emotions, it may feel exciting, and you'll be able to get a more accurate read on when am I ready to take this next step. So that's all I'm feeling, is just this really big desire to push out and express in some excitable new way, new risk. Crossing that energy with the King of Cups. So this is about your emotions, your more heart-based emotions, even though they're occurring in your body and there's a physical sexual excitement attached. This situation is about love, and it doesn't have to be big L. Like it doesn't have to be specifically pigeonholed to your desire or need to be with somebody specific because they're they're the one for you. That's not what I mean at all about love, so step away from that, okay? I'm just saying that to just to be careful here with my words, because this could be anything you love. Yourself, somebody else, the project, whatever. It's just whatever this risk you're taking, you're not taking it lightly. This is somebody or something that you really, or yourself, you know, that you really, really care about. So I feel like that's why it's okay to go slow and to not make a move right away. And I feel like that's also why it's okay to feel as intense as you're feeling, and you can hold both. You can feel this intensity and not do anything. And that's, you know, both are okay. So that's how I'm feeling, is like, you don't want to enter this lightly, and I think that that is wise. So don't enter it lightly. It does feel like whatever happens next is okay too. So like, if you take the risk with this person and it turns out that you weren't on the same page like you thought they were, I really don't think this is going to happen, but it could. So I'm going to say it anyway, is, you know, if you take this risk, you ask that person out, and apply this to your situation, obviously, as you see fit. It's just the energy, right? And I'm just using this as an example. If you ask this person out and you do get the rejection, they do say no, right? This King of Cups is saying, then it wasn't about that person at all, because what you're feeling is real. So if you're having this feeling and it needs to be accessed and expressed in some way, that is kind of independent on what happens outside of you or how people respond. It seems like they will respond well if you're doing this from the heart, but even if they don't, because you're doing it from the heart, something else is accessible to you that maybe you're not seeing. So if you get that first rejection, there's something else for you. That's all I want to say there. And if this isn't about getting that first rejection, because you will get the affirmative, this is just about making sure that you communicate and express what you're really feeling, that you really get deep and speak from that place, because the more you're able to do that, the more well received it will be. That's just kind of hard to balance if the excitement is really strong, and so you're feeling nervous, you're feeling tense, you're feeling anxious maybe, or just too excited and the words want to flood out or whatever. I think the nice thing about waiting a little bit before you make your move is to allow the energy to kind of settle, or for you to familiarize yourself with the energy in such a way that when you do make the move, it comes out of a bit of a cleaner place. You express a little bit clearer, more cleanly, and that will make you feel better first and foremost, I think. Not to say that if you do express poorly that that's a problem. I'm not trying to make this into shame or anything like that. I'm just saying that, you know, if you are able to settle and kind of speak from a calmer place about this, but a deep place, that you will benefit from that. And that may be what you're waiting on. So I'm just kind of affirming for you, if that's the information you needed, then you're on track. And this is also just telling you to take your feelings seriously. The King of Cups wields their feelings well. They know what their feelings feel like. They know what their feelings are telling them. They know how to act on them in healthy ways, right? So that's like the ideal emotional place to be. And with this trust in reverse, this is about self-trust, right? So this is about trusting what's inside of you for the answers, not what's without. So I think the only thing here that could happen is if you're making that risk, taking that new risk, and you feel nervous about it, your mind could just start, you know, generating what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Is it going to be okay? I'm worried. You know, so what I'm trying to do is just get you to step away from the mind generating story and needing outcome or needing to know, and coming into your heart space and trusting the emotions that are there and moving from that place, because that is that's what's going to get this energy through you in a way that feels satisfying, rather than trapping it or expressing it inappropriately or whatever. Is just taking your time and really, really tapping into how you really feel and what needs to happen, you know, because it's really going to be on you. It's going to be how you express your emotions, how you take that risk, that's going to be fulfilling for you ultimately, not what comes out on the other side, which will be fulfilling too, but only because you did your piece of it. So just focus on that. Focus on you, how you feel, what you need right now in each moment, from moment to moment, and that might change throughout the month, okay? But yeah, sit with it for now, I think, at least at the beginning of the month, and we'll see how this develops. So in the past affecting the present, we have the Star reversed. I'm really feeling, honestly, that this is supporting you. It feels like an aspect, maybe of childhood, maybe not, maybe later, of, or all, of this aspect of you, or a time in which you were really in touch with yourself, a time in which you really had a rich interior life and kind of saw stars everywhere, saw yourself as the star, kind of saw yourself and your life as somebody, amazing, somebody amazing in a way that, like, I don't mean arrogance or like displaying your amazingness. I just mean like you were confident and comfortable with yourself and knew what your gifts were and used them well and were okay in your interior space and allowed emotions to flow. It's supporting you this month because if you can remember that time, or maybe just you're in that time now because this is the work you've already done, um, you can kind of be the secret star. You don't have to, upright, this is like you expressing your stardom in the world, but in the reverse, it can just mean, you're that star. You're that star inside of yourself, and that's enough, right? So that could be what it is. These emotions are kind of boiling within you, brewing in some way, and then we have this water, right? The heart kind of meeting those primal emotions where they are, with it kind of like a cool-headed sense of directness, and openness, allowing the emotions to flow. I think if you just let this be inside yourself, you'll find that in itself is satisfying. If you can move it instead of it getting stuck, because stuck emotions are never fun. But if you can find an avenue, an outlet for these fiery emotions to kind of flow in some other way, maybe that will take the pressure off. Like if you're feeling, if you're about to take this risk, if you're about to ask somebody out, and you're not quite ready yet, but the nervous energy is just too much, and you don't feel like you can ask that person out with all that nervous energy, then, move it in some other way. Make art, go for a run, do some other sport, express it, scream, express it, get it out, and then maybe that gets the nervous energy out to such an extent that you're then able to kind of approach this with a clearer head and get what you need out of it. Because I feel like the big important part with all of this that I've said so far is don't obsess or focus on the outcome or needing to know what happens on the other side. Focus on you and how you're expressing whatever risk you're taking. And if you can be super open with what is really going on and what you're really extending, that is the fulfilling moment. And if you really feel fulfilled in that, I don't think you'll be rejected. I just don't, because it's too real for you, and everyone else is going to see that and respond to it well. So, people respond to most people unless they're really, resistant to a certain energy, which happens all the time. But like a lot of people, at least when you're really real with them, they will be real back, and people tend to kind of know when something is fake or whatever. So I feel like if you're really coming from a place of authenticity and depth and you're clear, the response on the other side you're going to get is going to be very positive. But you have to be in a really quiet space to feel that and express that in a way that is clear, and that clarity is the authenticity that people are picking up on, because you're always being authentic on some level. But if the communication comes out kind of wonky, or stories are spun because you're addicted to the outcome or whatever, that's kind of when people start responding to you weirdly, or like in a way that implies that they think you're fake, or not even that they may not necessarily know you're fake or why they're responding poorly in some way, but then they are. And it's usually because like you're not trying to create a situation, but what you want versus what you're saying are two different things. And then that person is responding to what you're saying, and then nobody is really understanding the true essence of what's going on. The information is too wonky. So again, I don't want to like make you feel bad about not communicating clearly. It's not about shame. I'm just kind of explaining that when we do say things in weird ways, people do respond in weird ways. So the more calm of a place you can get yourself into before you act, the more clarity you'll have when you speak, and the better other people will respond. I think that's all I'm feeling. And it's really about your ability to deeply find nourishment in your own emotions, which you can do. You're Cancer, so, Okay, in your foundation, Ace of Wands. So I feel in this card, I mean, this is fiery young expression. It's that initial, it is taking that risk, it is expressing, it is that fire kind of rising and moving out. What I'm feeling though, the second I picked up the card, is the other aspects that are specific to this deck, which is if you kind of consider this to be your central channel, right? The energy channel that runs from your root up through the crown of your head and ideally all the way up to the highest power and all the way down to the earth, if you're really energetically set up well. But your main central channel is just root to crown. It's inside you. It's inside all of us, and it's supposed to channel energy. It's supposed to be conduit, right? And these snakes representing Kundalini, so procreative energy rising through your body. And then if this, moon or this light body kind of represents like your consciousness, or even higher up to the highest power, if you want to go there, this is being in perfect energetic balance. The second I picked it up, my spine straightened. I went into my alignment. I pulled up, right? So, and the second I did that, my energy released. Like all my nervous tension and energy, it automatically released. And so I think standing in your power and saying, yes, I can do this. Yes, these emotions are real. Yes, they need an outlet. They need to be expressed. And yes, I'm going to take that risk. I think that is what you need to come into before you do. So I think you've already, made up your mind in terms of what this energy is. You know what it wants to do. I think the path forward is, can I trust it? Once I can trust it, what are the deeper aspects of it? Go into yourself. What is this energy really trying to express? Once you do that, it's like can I speak from the heart? How can I speak in a way that I'm truly deeply heard, right? And then at that point, it seems like, can I step into my power? Can I own this? Can I own this no matter what happens next, right? That's this energy. So crowning you this month, Prince of Swords reversed. Yeah? Yeah, Prince of Swords reversed, okay. Don't think. Don't think. This is about your body, this is about your feelings. This is about your consciousness, your spirit, what you feel is right in that place beyond words, right? Just knowing, just that knowing, right? Which is hard to access if our mind is too wired. So don't think. This is not a month for thinking. This is about the heart. This is about the body. This is about the spirit. This is about this desire for this energy to express and being in your power with clarity while you do it. Okay, so don't think. Don't think. Your mind is not your friend. Go deeper than that. Go deeper than the mind. That's all I'm going to say. New circumstance. Temperance. Blend of fire and water, and we have that here, right? Like this star card. I mean, this is Aquarius, which is air, but it's water. It's water falling from the air. So it's basically like being in a place of spirit, speaking, and through speaking, the pure water of consciousness kind of flows down through you. And so it's watery in that aspect. It's like air that wields water. And we have this King of Cups energy. It's also water. And then we have these two fiery energies, right? The Ace of Wands and the Queen of Wands, and the Wildling was showing up the same way, that fire. Whereas this was showing up with water, the self-trust, the trusting your depths. So Temperance is blending fire and water. Alchemy, right? Blending fire and water to create a completely new energy, because it's a new configuration of energy of seeming opposites. So integration, things like that, transformation. So with this fire and water energy you have here, which are both emotional energies, fire is just hot and primal, water is cool and spiritual, right? They got to make friends. And we already talked about that, about how, you got to, first you have to be able to accept the fire and sit with the intensity and not need it to do anything, sit with the tension, right? And then through sitting with that tension, accessing your depths, the water. What is this energy really here to do? What are these emotions churning in my stomach, these fiery emotions? What are they really here to say? What do they want to express, right? What's the energy, the greater energy that kind of surrounds it, right? What's the greater meaning on an emotional level? What's really has value to your heart? As you move through that process, that's what's happening. You're addressing the fire, you're bringing the water into it, right? So through this natural process, that is the temperance energy. Can you make friends with your fire and water, and can you sit with it all, right? And what I also like what I said about the air, like don't think, but then here's the star, which is an air energy, but it's about releasing the concentration, allowing the consciousness to flow. So your mind's role in this is to allow. is to sit back and allow. And through that, this temperance energy can be experienced in a good way. It's in the upright, so you're doing it. This is not challenging. I mean, it's challenging, but you're totally up to the task and you know it. I think silencing the mind is going to be the biggest deal, and then just giving yourself time when you're sitting with intensity too. And so all I'm really feeling from this is like you're creating something beautiful here, just inside yourself, not even anybody else's awareness maybe of this beautiful thing inside yourself that you're creating by letting the water and the fire play with each other and discover each other and mix and mold with each other. It looks like by the time we're here, the fire is kind of raised to my heart. And so before, while my stomach was kind of butterfly-y and twisted, now my heart feels that way. There's this like fire in my heart. And it's not necessarily the most comfortable because it's tense, because this energy, the fiery energy, I guess this one is full of tension. That tension of I need to express but I'm not ready. So now you're holding it in your heart, right? The fieriness. And that's all you need to do. This is about integration, letting the fire and the water continue to integrate without needing to assign too much meaning in a thought-based way. Just let it be. Just be with where you are, where you are right now, in the present moment, what your body and emotions are doing. Just allow it. Just allow it and continue to process. And that's the temperance energy. Just continuing to kind of rework and rework and rework a little bit, okay, with what is already there. In your ego, your energy this month, we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. This is just saying not yet. This is saying things are going to turn in your favor. I can really feel that. And they're going to turn in your favor because of the internal work of blending this water and fire energy, that nervous tension, that desire to express, that lack of being ready to express, mixed with these deeper emotions. Why is this need to express here? What is it trying to express? What is the deeper desire of my soul? The ocean of consciousness. Between those energies, we have the Wheel of Fortune. When these energies blend fully and completely, you will be ready to move forward. You'll be ready to risk and express. You'll know what you're doing. You'll have that clarity of mind that you're craving but don't have this month, because it's not about the mind this month. And then things are going to start to change and shift in the way that you want them to. You just have to get through it. You have to get through the process of, and it's not like it's going to be hard or difficult. It's like patience is a thing. Holding space for intensity is a thing here, and holding space for not needing to know is a big aspect of this, okay? So if you can just sit with that, if you can just sit and accept that the wheel is not ready to turn yet, then you'll be in the sufficient space needed to alchemize and integrate the energy that's learning itself and working itself right now, okay? So environment this month, 8 of Pentacles. You got work to do. So just do it. And by this, I mean like in the physical material world, practical, like show up to work, each day. Do the things that you need to do that both nourish you and give your mind something to do. Just give your brain something to do that isn't about this emotional energy, because the brain needs an outlet too. This is just not its job, okay? So give your mind something else to do, something to think about, something to work and learn, so that it has its thing in a way that doesn't disrupt your emotional process right now, okay? So that's what you can just do in terms of your environment this month. Focus on work, focus on tasks, not obsessively, but just like when you need to, when that feels nourishing, and then just give your mind something to process or learn or whatever that is kind of unrelated to this, because this energy just needs to find itself, and the brain's just going to get in the way or drain you or create more suffering or story in ways that won't serve you. So yeah, give your mind something to work on. That'll help. 5 of Pentacles reversed. Am I worthy? Am I deserving? That's what's coming through. The energy that's working itself right now. Like I said, it's doubtful. It's, am I going to get the yes? Am I going to get the okay? Is this going to work? Right? And again, like I said, this is normal. My teacher's Qigong teacher, so teacher squared, right? Said once that and she's a Taoist, and she has picked apart Taoism in a way that kind of restructures the divine feminine and masculine in a way that's like much healthier for our cultural issues with feminine and masculine. Anyway, one of the things she says is this isn't taught, but the yang is pregnant with doubt. And I instantly thought the yang is pregnant with doubt. I instantly thought that is the exact feeling of liking somebody and wanting to ask them out and being afraid of what they're going to say. It is so brave. It is so brave to extend that hand, you know, to see if that hand is going to extend back. It is mortifying and exciting, and that's yang as it's kind of bursting forth. The yang right at the beginning when it's trying to express is pregnant with doubt, and that's okay. Okay, so this Five of Pentacles reversed. I like it better in the reverse. It's just, am I worthy? Is this person or situation going to accept me? Do I have what it takes? Am I deserving? And because this is reversed, I feel like you're aware of the churning and that it's a story and that you don't have to fully buy into it. These are the fears. They're being generated by the mind, okay? Mostly. And the nervous energy is just going to be what it is. It's just going to be pregnant with doubt until that moment of truth when it releases and we find out, okay? So think about how powerful that is to have such a strong desire or sensation or need to express, and how scary it is to express, and that ability to do it anyway. That's where the power is. It's the power of, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just need to do this. And that is the opportunity here, is if you can not silence the worry, but hold space for it and do it anyway, right? That's it. That's the power here. That's the lesson that you can learn. And it's just going to require the patience so that you can prepare yourself, the ability to step away from the need to know, and the need to know the outcome, the ability to just sit with the emotions and let them be what they are, and then the ability to know when it's time to make the move, to hold space for the fear and the doubt, and to do it anyway. That is where the fulfillment is going to be. It's not on the other side of that. It's before that. It's the bravery required to do this in the first place. And you should congratulate yourself for that, not beat yourself up. No matter what befalls, it requires so much courage to take that risk of faith, of purpose, right? And that's what you're getting ready to do, and it's powerful, it's beautiful. And again, like I said, if the first time you do it, there's a no, there's still going to be a yes on the other side of that, right? So don't think too much about the next step. Just think about the cultivation of your power in this, and then it will work. I think something will go through, okay? And we're just not there yet. We just don't know what it is yet. Outcome, 9 of Pentacles. I feel a head pressure. It wasn't there before. Maybe mine. So I'm just centering again. No, it's the energy. So, I mean, usually what I see this as is like a cycle of gain, a cycle of reciprocal gain and worth. A cycle of reciprocal gain that comes out of self-worth, like a true sense of self-worth. 5 of Pentacles kind of rules lack of self-worth. And then I have this heady energy again. So I'm feeling like, because this is in the upright too, which means it's here for you right now, you know, I'm feeling like if you look in the mirror, right? If you look at yourself in the mirror and you see what's really there from this place of King of Cups or Ace of Wands, from this place of great power, from this place of emotional understanding, right? It's like I feel like you'll be able to see something that wasn't there, but that it was there before, but like be able to see something that you didn't see before inside yourself, like this ability to like see like, oh, I've already gained so much. Oh, I already have so much. Oh, I already offer so much value inherently as a human being. You know, what are the qualities in you that you really enjoy, that you really appreciate within yourself, and how do those qualities serve you? And can you stay there? Can you get yourself into a place where you can think about those qualities and accept and absorb your appreciation of those qualities? And how does that change what happens next for you? Because if you can step into this big place of power that is being offered to you this month, and come out at the end of this kind of with this improved sense of gain, or improved sense of self-worth rather, with the acknowledgement that you were already worthy through all of the moments in your life that you didn't feel worthy, you still were. You are inherently worthy. You're already worthy if you can get there. I think then you've accomplished the true task here. But I can't ignore this head thing. This isn't about the mind. I mean, yes, you're going to have to involve the mind if you're thinking critically about what you like about yourself, but I guess the word critical is important here. Don't criticize yourself. You know, if there's something that you want to change, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong about changing it. Like, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't like the body that you see because it could be better, because it could be healthier, and you want that for yourself, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But the more you shame, the more you judge, the more you criticize yourself, the less space you create to be able to actually make change. And so I think what's happening here is this clashing between old behavior and the new behavior that's trying to solidify itself. You know, just the criticism comes back at the same moment that you're finding this new self-worth, and maybe they're just butting heads. Yeah, that's the head pressure I feel. So you don't have to fight. You don't have to be at war with these two voices. You know, they can coexist if you reframe them. The criticizer wants something different for you, and that's okay. What's not okay is criticizing the hell out of you so that you can't even get there, right? It just blocks flow when you do that. So can you hold both? Can you be like, okay, I see that if it's a body thing, I'm just going to use that because it's easy, and I've already used it. So if it's a body thing, if you look yourself in the mirror and the criticizer doesn't like what they see, but this new version of you that's growing and is looking for the ways in which you are worthy, you know, sees this other side of yourself, these things that you do enjoy about your body, okay, or whatever. It doesn't have to be about your body. That's just what I'm using. So, you know, this criticizer, instead of just saying, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, I don't like the way my clothes fit, I don't like the way I stand, I don't like my facial expression, you know, all these ways that you could not like your reflection, you know, just pull back and just say, I see you, what do you really need? And maybe it's just like, I want to be able to, you know, exercise at least twice a day so that I can have the body that I want, you know. And maybe you can then kind of create this compromise between these two voices where you're like, well, look at what I've already done. I've already been working out. I've already been eating a little healthier, if this is true for you, right? This is just an example. And so, yeah, no, I don't have the body I want, but I'm a little bit closer than I was before, and isn't that a wonderful thing, you know? And then you can kind of start to create this, what can we do now? Do we just keep going down the same path? Do we make a change? Do we, you know, work out 3 times a week instead of twice? You know, what do we do so that these two voices can communicate in a way that actually creates growth within you and a path forward towards fulfillment, instead of closing the flow because you just decide you're not worthy, right? You are not your body. You know, in this case, like, you are not your body. You are not the things you don't like about your body. But there's nothing wrong with wanting better for yourself, like wanting a better body if that's what you want. You just have to be able to accept who you are and how that is presenting, and accept that you can change it if you want. And it's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because you are so much bigger than your body. You are so much more than your body. And if you, that person beyond your body, wants better for your body, that is a beautiful thing. It's not okay to just decide that you are all of these awful aspects that you have criticized about your body, and just, because what happens is you start to identify, and then that's where you live. You live in this ugly, fat body. And I'm not saying you're ugly and fat. I'm just, if you are saying that to yourself, you know, if you feel like you're living in this ugly, fat body, and that's what you keep telling yourself, it's hard to get out of it because you've created an identification. You think, I'm ugly, I'm fat. No. You are perceiving yourself as ugly and fat. You are perceiving yourself as ugly and fat. And if you can understand that you are perceiving yourself that way, now you are separate from that. You know, there's this, I am ugly and fat, but then there's you observing you telling yourself that. And so once you can make that perspective switch, then you can say, okay, this body could be more fit, right? This body could have clothes that fit better as well. This body could get a little more self-care in certain ways. I could get a new haircut. I could do all these things, and now suddenly you're wielding your body like it's an instrument of your expression, right? Instead of pigeonholing yourself in the qualities that it's currently portraying, which is always changeable on a certain level. I mean, there's certain things that you can't change, but there are many things that you can. And the things that you can't are instantly reframed when you change the rest, so it's sort of like, I don't know if you've ever seen Queer Eye, but I love Queer Eye. And, some people on that show, Queer Eye, they're inherently bigger or taller, and then they call themselves fat or ugly or whatever. And, what the guys in Queer Eye do, or what Tan, who's my favorite, does when he dresses them, is he gives them clothes that match their body type. They say, okay, this is your body. Here are the clothes that accentuate all the right features. And so now somebody who previously perceived themselves as ugly, they look in the mirror and they see somebody that's actually quite beautiful because they're framed correctly, and that's sometimes all it takes. And so work with what is, and you can change what you don't like without criticism. I hope that makes sense. So that's the path forward. Can the aspects of you that like each other and the aspects of you that don't like certain aspects of you create bridges instead of barriers so that you can flow instead of cut yourself off from flow? And the King of Cups is all about emotional flow, so let's flow, All right. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you have a good May. Hit like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see the next video, and then Cancer, I will see you in June. Good luck. I love you. You got this. All right. Peace.